Good afternoon, good morning, good night, wherever you're in the world. This is Dan Anderson wishing you very, very welcome on this week's Global Associate Meeting. And this is what is known as our GAM, which is our weekly pulse beat, our weekly communication, where I kind of more often than not speak to you, but sometimes other senior corporate officers take part. Today, it's just me because, bless him, Mihi Magudia is laid low in bed with, I think, food poisoning. And so every time I've been speaking to him today, he's been in the horizontal position because anything else is too tedious and painful. We are going to do a very short and sharp webinar today and just go through a few sort of standard things that we normally have, which is the agenda that you have before you there. Let's see if I can make my mouse work here. Can't seem to go forward on the slide, so maybe I'll help ask my assistant to help me do that from the UK. There we are. So we have some member events, we have some news things, we have the incentive update, South Africa, Maldives, and call to action. Now, in particular, I'm always very, very pleased to be sharing about these members events, and in particular, the Chinese are very generous with sharing with us sort of examples of things that are going on their home ground. I know that these events are repeated and duplicated all over the world. I was just speaking to someone last night, one of our leaders who did a training session in the Dubai region for 120 odd people, and I know that events like this are happening in Africa, of course, and I know that events like this are happening all across Europe and all across Asia Pacific. So it's just nice to see, and do please all share any pictures that you have, so just send them in to us because we'll promote it on our webinar. But this is kind of what the business is, and this is kind of, for me, one of my key metrics for the business model that we have, both in terms of our educational platform where trainings and leadership development and all of this happens between leaders and their groups of people. It's also one of the key metrics in terms of building a Leo coin community. The success of our business will be in how many hundreds and how many thousands of these small group huddles happen where people are educating and sharing each other, because there's no coincidence that the mantra of Leo is learn, earn, own, and that starts with learn. You can't start with own, you have to start with learn, and that's kind of sharing the message and teaching people, and then you learning. If you look at what we've done as an organization since 2014, when we got involved in the digital currency market, if you like, we have educated literally millions of people about digital currencies and Bitcoin and Leo coin, etc., etc., etc. This is the key part of it. So credit to this director and executive for organizing this meeting. There's another one as well in the Fujian province, in Fujian, where again a small little meeting was happening, and I'm so proud of these because this is something that goes on without any one of us. So all of you who are in the market, don't get me wrong, it's tough to build our sort of business in any market. It doesn't matter how or where you live. People are always going to be skeptical, people are always going to have a view, and people are always going to wonder if we're a genuine company or not until they really know after a period of time that we really are. And we're building a real business and not hanky-panky, and things of course don't go up in an inevitable rise and rise. Even Bitcoin itself crashed from sort of $20,000 down to a very, very low level. It seems to be recovering a little bit, and that's a very positive sign. But the things don't go up and up and up. There's always challenges, always hard times, always things to meet. One of the things that I've been doing in the last few days is recording some training sessions, and a lot of what I've been talking about on these sessions are sort of short and sharp pieces that I have a particular channel in mind for. It's to do with how do you deal with adversity, how do you deal with challenges, how do you deal with hard times. Hard times happen because it's a lesson and a test. You learn things in hard times. That's one thing. Hard times also shows you who's who in the zoo. In other words, when the chips are down and things are tough, that's when people rally around you. And you'll be surprised with one how few people stand up, and also you'll be surprised by whom, because the people you think would be loyal to the nth degree, sometimes they just disappear and go away. The other thing the third thing that hard times do is they teach you humility, and they transform you in a positive way, so that you don't go around in life thinking that you're kind of something special. Hard times teach you that you're the same as everyone else, and you have to deal with the same challenges. All of us deal with challenges that we don't know about. In other words, every single person that you meet, be that a hotel waiter through to the prime minister, they all have personal challenges that we know nothing about. So be kind, be patient, educate your people, and stand up tall and be counted. Now, the thing that's very, very cool is that there was a reverb of this in the news, this little section where we sort of share with you what's happening in the world of publicity and who's picking up about Leo and about our products. This was in particular about our trainings and how they apply to team building. And how do you motivate your team? Well, just from this article written by an external person, we have that if you want to motivate your team, you have to have a positive passion. You have to enthuse people. You have to lead by example. You have to train, and you have to mentor, and you have to duplicate. And this is where sort of our business model comes in, because that is what we do. You have to communicate to motivate people and keep engaged and set goals, and you have to basically be a cheerleader. And I love that this was picked up on bizepic.com. So our products, they really hit on fundamental truths and things that are valuable to people. And what I've always said is that a brain, once expanded, never shrinks back to its original dimension. When you teach someone something, when they learn something through their association with our products or with our business, this is a generational impact, because it teaches their children, and it's something that passes on in a way that other products don't do. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about Leo and what we're doing. The impact that we've had, like I say, in terms of digital currency, from 2014, when we got involved with Leo Coin, we have literally expanded the minds of millions of people into digital currencies and what's that about. So we are doing good work, no matter how you look at it. And if you want to build a team, you just have to accept that sometimes things are not as easy and smooth as they are in a launch situation. When people are excited, and it's kind of like back in the day with Bitcoin, when Bitcoin rose up to $20,000, everyone was a genius, because in a rising market, everyone's a genius. But in the time that we've been in the digital currency space, of course, we have seen hundreds of coins, thousands of coins come and go, and here we still are battling away, set for our biggest growth yet. Now, one of the things that we do as an organization, and I try to do as a leader, is give people reasons to engage and reasons to work. And so we launched, and this was primarily for the African markets. It was primarily for South Africa, to be honest, because we have a big event there that I'm going to talk about next, coming up this weekend. But we decided it would be unfair to do this just for one singular market. So we decided to make this a global incentive. And you have 4 days left. Between the 13th of May and up until the 24th of May, this coming Friday, you have double RP. That means for the same amount of work, for the same amount of petrol in your car, you get double the mileage. So people who are between platinum and executive, you will get this benefit. If you're just starting out as a new person, no. But when you go platinum, you will get it. If you're one of our big directors with a huge organization, no, you don't get it either. But if you're between that platinum to executive rank, then this is an opportunity for you to really transform your business. Now, if you are with Leo, and if you are with us and working, this is the week to do some work, because you're like I say, your mileage is doubled. But you can bring the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But as a leader, you have to provide incentives and motivation to people, and this is one of the ways that we do that. When we look at the global perspective, we see that some markets are going crazy with this, and we see some markets not, which is bizarre and extraordinary. But nothing happens when you sit on your hands. Nothing happens when you're just waiting for good weather. You have to go out and you have to sail your ship in every weather condition. If you're with us, you're with us. If you're sitting and marking time, go and find something that you're passionate about, because maybe Leo isn't for you, but if Leo is for you, this is the time for you to do work. And it's kind of part of this sort of hard thing. You have to learn how to self-motivate no matter what's going on externally, because you can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond to that. The other reminder that I want to put in front of you today is that the ownership points incentive between bronze, silver, gold, and platinum is ending very soon. I get it's not going to be ending this week. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that it won't go on forever. And it's kind of, as much as anything, to put a stake in the ground that this is a incentive. It's not a permanent condition, the awards that you get at those different beginning ranks. So again, all the more reason for working hard and doing something now. Now, I know that we are prone to salesmanship and selling things, but we really are making history in South Africa. This coming weekend, Saturday the 25th of May in Johannesburg, South Africa, we have Paul Southworth, Andy Hansen, and Mihe Magudia coming in for the African Region Mega. Now, this is potentially the largest event that we have ever done as an organization in one of our newest markets, and I can't tell you how excited I am about that, because I've had an excitement about Africa for over 10 years now, because I was exposed to the positive attitude and the spirit of the African nations and the African people, and I always felt that Africa's time is coming, and watch out world, what will happen when Africa starts to move. Let's not go into history, let's not go into politics, but I just know that the African nations, the continent of Africa, will do extraordinarily well, because it really is kind of the Commonwealth of Africa. On Saturday, there will be a fantastic event. Now, for those of you who are not familiar, Mr. Paul Southworth, after his name, there are these three letters, the OBE, and that stands for Order of the British Empire. This is an award, a royal award given to him by the Queen of England for his contributions to direct selling. He was the chairman of the UK Direct Selling Association. He was a senior executive in the FEDSA, the Federal European Direct Selling Association organization. He was also, for 17 years, the CEO of of Avon Europe, which for 17 years, he was the CEO of the largest company in the direct selling world. What he's forgotten about network marketing would fill up many brains of the biggest leaders that we have, including myself. He knows stuff that is just humbling for me to think that he believes in Leo, and he believes in the future, and he believes in what we're trying to do. So to have someone like that come to Johannesburg is an extraordinary opportunity. He will also, during that trip, engage with the South African DSA to start our journey with them, and to make sure that we can run the market and run our business in a responsible way, compliant with all legislation and what have you, down in South Africa. So absolutely landmark event as far as I'm concerned, and for those of you who sadly won't be able to make it, the video that comes out of this we will share with you and with the world how we are making a difference as a global and multicultural organization that bridges the gaps between peoples, instead of building trade wars and trade walls and physical walls between people. We try to connect people all over the world. And for me, this is important, because this is something that we can do through the wonderful business of direct selling, and aren't we just doing that? Now, just a reminder, Maldives is, the qualification for that is going to be running out in about 5 minutes by the 31st of July. And for those of you who haven't worked it out, the Maldives and the qualification requirement to get to associate during this qualifying period, you don't have to get someone to associate by the 31st of July. You could do it before the 24th of May. because the double RP will play into your hands here in extraordinary ways if you work it out. That means that you get twice the mileage because of this double RP week that we still have, these 4 days that we have left. You could be qualifying yourself and a friend to go on a trip to the Maldives for half the effort as if you did the work next week. And that's all I will say about that. And I think that the markets that are really moving have worked this out and said, why not? Because Maldives is a wonderful place. You need to visit it, not wanting to be too alarmist or shallow about it, but the idea of rising sea levels and the Maldives being sort of sandbanky islands, who knows if they're going to be there when our children are grown up. So it'd be a nice place to visit, just apart from anything else. And it really is paradise on earth. I've been there with my family, and it's one of our most treasured memories. Office closures in May, 20th of May in Canada, 27th of May in the United Kingdom, and of course in the Dubai region, all of our Muslim brothers and sisters, they are celebrating or enjoying their Ramadan between the 6th of May and the 3rd of June. So their office hours are slightly different, as you can see on the slide. So all power to them, and enjoy Ramadan. And Eid is coming up, so good luck to you. Now, call to action. You basically have 4 days left to change your business, because what you do duplicates and sends a resonance into the universe. When you move, and you move wholeheartedly, people move with you, and you can create momentum in 4 days. I know you can, and some of you have started, and some of you are doing this. You sign up someone, you help them to achieve something, and that becomes how they approach their business, and how they sell our products, and how they move our business into other customers and other people. Get off your indecision, get off your lack of movement, get off your sitting on the fence and move. That is what a direct selling business asks of you. The grass will never be greener. The challenges have to be faced. When you look at this business, you have to speak to people. That's the only way it moves forward. Every single person in the world are busy with something. When you speak to them about direct selling, they're busy with something. They don't have time for you. It's just the way it is. But then the penny drops, and the right people get involved with you. Use this to motivate yourself to take action. And I look forward to celebrating and hearing about your success, because there is a miracle in making a decision, taking a stand, picking up the phone, calling a person one more time, calling a person that you've been scared to call for so long. Use this to motivate yourself, because you never know what happens. No one is a bad enough presenter that they will get no result if they speak to a number of people. No one is such a brilliant presenter that if they speak to a number of people, they'll get 100% conversion rate. Of course not. But the people who win in this industry are the people who speak to people. We're a company that's been around since 2012. We've honored our commitment to people. We've tried to run a legal, legitimate, and honest business that delivers on the promises. We are running a business in the real world. We can't control what happens, but we can control our response to stuff. And that's what we try to do responsibly as an organization, as a company. So I thank you for your kind attention. I thank you for your commitment and your loyalty. And I thank you for being with us. And together we will do extraordinary things. That is my belief, and that is my passion, and that's what I work for. So all power to you, and speak to you next week on the 27th of May. Thank you very much indeed.